What is up, everybody? We're back already for round 4 of the Portland Regional Championships. For this round, we will have James Eakes, the meat master himself, versus Samuel
Haarsma.
Oh, Haarsma. Okay. Dr. Fidget, as he is known. Now, I'm going to start with Dr. Fidget because he's known to use some pretty interesting stuff. I believe in the 2017 format, he had multiple teams that utilized, if not completely Ultra Beasts, it would be like 5 Ultra Beasts and like one other thing.
Yeah, I think he had a team where he did really well at a midseason showdown. I think he won a midseason showdown with all
I think so
Ultra
too,
Beasts.
but it got a lot of attention.
Yeah.
As for James Eakes, he's one of NorCal's locals, host of the Eakes Invitational, one of NorCal's few grassroots events. And he has some regional success as well. Not only has he been involved in the building of a lot of the successful regional teams, he was involved in the building of both Mitchell Davies' Top Cut Dallas team, but Mike Groshan's Top Cut team as well.
Wow.
He got second in Anaheim in 2016, the regional, not Worlds. So, definitely no stranger to these events. Someone who has the potential to top cut. Someone who is pretty amusing to play someone like Sam, just because they both kind of use – well, James much less off the wall compared to Sam, but both interesting team choices as far as things go.
Yeah, very few players more off the wall than Sam.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I couldn't even tell you one off the top of my head. 6 Ultra Beasts is pretty out there. Team preview appearing on the screen in just a sec. From Sam, we see Pelipper, Seismitoad, Chandelure, Breloom, Zapdos, and Kangaskhan. While from James, we see Landorus, Therian, Charizard, Hydreigon, Tsareena, Tapu Koko, and Milotic. I mean, the thing that stands out to me immediately, at least personally, is Seismitoad.
Yeah, Seismitoad. I think that's kind of crazy. I was talking to someone who had faced Sam before,
Okay.
and they were saying, "Oh yeah, he had this weird Swift Swim user," and they weren't saying what it was. And I was like, I wonder what it could be. I guess it's Seismitoad.
Yeah, Seismitoad is one of those Pokemon that actually does get Swift Swim, but not used as often as, say, Ludicolo or even maybe Kingdra. But it does have some interesting coverage moves. I believe it gets Sludge Bomb, if not Sludge Wave, something that can put a lot of pressure on those Tapu, especially against Tapu Koko with your ground typing and Earth Power. Chandelure also pretty interesting to note, as it kind of makes the weather matchup a little harder because a lot of them tend to carry Flash Fire.
Yeah, I think it's this is definitely not by any means a conventional team, but I think you can sort of see the thread working through it. Like Breloom's sort of like the staple Sam Mon.
Yeah.
It's got that nice, you've got the Ghost Fighting coverage, you've got a Firewater Grass, you've got some solid Swift Swim rain plans, and then I guess you've got Seismitoad is sort of Swampert, but it doesn't take a Mega Slot.
Right. And it has a lot of coverage that Ludicolo doesn't really offer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going into team preview, going to be interesting to see what comes out right out of the gate. I would like to see Kangaskhan Breloom personally, very reminiscent of the 2015 format. Always one of my personal favorites is you get the fake out, negate the turn there, and then you Spore, possibly negating the turn there. From James, we have Milotic and Hydreigon coming out, while from Sam, we have Kangaskhan and Zapdos.
Wow, so this sort of feels like 2015 almost.
A little bit. I don't see anything that would normally indicate to you otherwise, except for that trainer standing over there.
Yeah. So I think this is interesting. It feels like Sam has a bit more pressure, but not a whole lot more.
Right.
Definitely, I think Sam might be thinking, oh, maybe I should look at that Breloom as a lead next game, because definitely it seems like it's in a good spot against these.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I guess it's tough to lead because of the Charizard and the Tapu Koko and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Those terrains making sleep a lot less strong than it was in the past. Yeah, I would all agree that I think Sam is in the bit of a better position early on, just because the Kangaskhan offering so much power right away is so powerful. Or power is powerful, essentially. Kangaskhan going right for that Mega Form. No reason not to, really. Fake out almost undoubtedly coming out. Oh, no.
Oh.
Don't listen to me at all, people. Please don't. Tailwind from the Hydreigon, outspeeding both Kang and Zapdos. Low kick answering that. Enough to pick it up, even with Parental Bond being weaker than in the past, allowing Zapdos the free turn on the Milotic. Okay, I thought it was the Z move at first because there was a little bit of lag, but it is the opposing Tailwind. The countering Icy Wind, pretty nice there, because not only do you have a full health Milotic that could have went down pretty easily to something like an Electric Tag, but the speed, because the Tailwind's matched, you now have the speed advantage thanks to the Icy Wind.
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to see how Eakes capitalizes. It feels like this is still a fairly even match.
Right.
Sam got the KO, but it wasn't before the Hydreigon got to move. And so they sort of matched Tailwinds, and then the Icy Wind on top of that means Eakes just has this clear speed advantage. So if he can bring in something really threatening right now to those two Pokemon, then he's going to be able to make up that lost Pokemon really quickly.
Right. He goes for the Landorus, something that weakens the Kangaskhan thanks to the Intimidate, and, you know, offers pressure against the Zapdos. Can't hit it with your electric moves while usually carrying some type of rock move.
Yeah, I think Melodic's definitely not ideal here if James is trying to sort of, like, get immediate offensive pressure.
I agree.
Hopefully Landorus can kind of pick up the slack here and do some good damage to Zapdos and Kangaskhan.
Yeah, if you can, I think the Zapdos is a lot more pressuring right in the short term, at least. The Rock Slide doing a ton of damage, and Kang taking pretty good amount of damage as well. Activating the Zapdos Berry, going to go up to about, I would say, 55%. Oh, Citrus Berry, not a new like Iapapa or Wiki Berry. Icy Wind going out once again, probably trying to nail a switch and make the Tailwind still in his favor, but now both Pokemon just being very, very slow. Now the attacks are coming out. Oh, the flinch from the Rock Slide. Only Thunderbolt will happen to flinch pretty big, as it could have been an Ice Punch or, you know, a double tap onto the Milotic slot, creating a pretty safe situation for James in the next turn.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing about Rock Slide. When you have the speed advantages, you've got a 50% chance of flinching something.
Yeah.
And so, like, there was still a lot of pressure from Sam's side, but just, like, it was contingent on not flinching. And I think it's probably more nice for him to get the Zapdos to attack. It seemed like it was a little more threatening. But I guess because the Kangaskhan's at -1. But maybe if we were going for that Ice Punch, Sam's got to be pretty frustrated.
Seismitoad going in over the Zapdos. You still want that electric coverage for later. And the ground typing going to make that rock damage not too bad. It's really up to the Kangaskhan to provide here. Going into the red, maybe even an Icy one could take it at this point, but not even going to risk that. Going right for the Scald. Removing the Kangaskhan and getting another free turn.
Yeah, so I think this might play into Sam's favor if he's
absolutely. If he has Pelipper,
yeah.
Because then you have the Tailwind on top of the rain, Seismitoad moving before everything else, and you do see the Pelipper come onto the field for the first time.
Yeah, so if the Pelipper has the speed advantage on the Melodic, then I think this could just be a double KO, and James has to be pretty scared here.
Yeah, it also depends on how he attacks the Milotic. If it goes for another Icy Wind, it could be potentially annoying, even though there's no way to reset Tailwind because of the Hydreigon KO earlier.
Yeah, I think it could definitely still throw things out of balance.
Oh, totally. I mean, Seismitoad is looking pretty threatening. Maybe if the Milotic has like a recover, it could be pretty nice just because it will be able to not only fight in the rain, but be sort of hard to remove. Muddy Water is the choice. Not seeing Landorus switch out, probably an easy pickup thanks to that rain, and who knows what the item is so far. Yep. Not even worrying about that Landorus slot. No accuracy drop on the Milotic, which would be even crazier because it would activate the competitive boost. We do see the Life Orb, and Pelipper actually outspeeding the Milotic, hitting it with a Hurricane, knocking it out, forcing James into a 1v3 situation.
Yeah, so rain in the back being amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to imagine it's the Charizard here, but careful play from Pelipper will pretty much clinch the game if that's the case. Oh, the Tsareena instead of the Charizard, Grass type, may be nice, but the speed control is still in such a way where I can't see Tsareena taking this back by itself.
Yeah, I think the only thing is maybe this sort of encourages Sam to reveal whether or not he has Ice Beam.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's still information to get. That could definitely go into the next game. It was definitely a hard, fast game, and the match was forfeited, so you're not even going to risk. I guess James thinking that the information was more important for him than learning what his opponent had, and that could come into play later.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair because you sort of have to reveal whether or not the Tsareena is Assault Vest.
Right.
That being like one of the sets that it often runs, because like you would have to go for Protect if you weren't, and then just like also from the damage on Hurricane.
Right. I mean, at the same time, you don't really learn much about the Pelipper. Did it have Focus Sash? They tend to, but like Dr. Fidget, I think often off the wall enough that any information you can really get is going to be helpful in the long term.
Yeah.
Returning to team preview. In terms of adjustments, not really sure what I want to see here.
I mean, Fidget clearly knows.
Yeah, I guess they both do. I wouldn't be surprised. Usually, speed like that indicates that they are bringing the same thing, just planning to play a little differently.
Yeah, so Eakes probably thinking, okay, so that rain setup was really bad, but maybe if I just hadn't KO'd the Kangaskhan that one turn, I would have been in a fine spot. Like if I'd Icy Winded again, then I feel like Sam would have been very hard-pressed to set things up properly. Oh. Sam
opting to go for the rain mode right away. This time, instead of the Milotic in the lead, you see the Tsareena making it so that Kang couldn't fake out if it were leading. And you did see in the last game that Sam was kind of wary of that, going for the low kick right away instead of the fake out.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting because Sam was probably thinking, okay, so Charizard doesn't seem to be coming to this match. Rain worked really well last time. Let's just do it sooner.
Yeah.
But all of the things that could have caused problems for Rain are out right now.
Right. It really depends. I believe that Tsareena tend to be faster than Pelipper, so that can come into play as well. Really depends on the Seismitoad moveset. If it has a poison or ice move, which they almost always do, if it's able to knock out the Tsareena for some reason, but you do go for the Protect, not even willing to take that Power Whip. Hydreigon going for the Tailwind felt very safe in doing so. You need something to match the Rain and hope that he doesn't get a Tailwind up as well. Even though, yep, faster than the Tsareena, so you're getting that Tailwind up without much issue. I imagine hitting the Seismitoad there. Yep. So, I mean, that turn for me kind of in favor of Sam.
I mean, mostly a null turn. I guess
yeah.
just like Sam managed to not lose out.
Exactly. Yeah, he had the pressure going in, and since nothing really happened on the turn, he still has the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, technically now he can't protect his Seismitoad as well.
But you do see the protect from Tsareena, so you're not going to be seeing Seismitoad get KO'd this turn unless Hydreigon has the power to do so. Muddy Water coming out once again, only hitting the Hydreigon thanks to that protect. But, you know, not very effective. Hydreigon, the dragon typing, is going to help out here a bit. And because he went for that water move, it feels to me that he probably doesn't have Ice Beam at least. Dark Pulse on the Pelipper, not enough to take the KO or activate the Focus Sash as Hurricane goes into the protected Tsareena.
So I think that forfeit last time really paying off here.
Yeah.
That Sam wasn't sure whether the Tsareena did have Protect. And so he kind of had to go for the Hurricane, and then like that was able to put him in a much better spot.
I mean, preserving the item information, looking pretty good for James here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Sam to figure out how to really do damage in the situation. Like, he led Rain with the intent to do all kinds of water damage with Seismitoad, and it's really just not working out so far. So we might see a switch. We might see Sam try to just, like, minimize his losses and try to get another Pokemon in Pelipper Feints. I'm not really sure what his best play is.
I'm not either. It's kind of hard because switching into something that free damage might matter a lot, especially when something like Pelipper might not be as strong in the long run. Going for the Landorus instead of the Tsareena, pretty risky considering that he pressed Muddy Water even when the Grass type was out. And what's the alternative? He has to be looking for the Poison move here, which is very risky. Seeing the Seismitoad go for the Muddy Water again, that should be the easy knockout on the Landorus slot, as it had no problem doing so in the previous game, leaving Hydreigon to sort of figure out what it's going to do here, probably taking the KO on the Pelipper, I imagine.
Yeah, so he must have been hoping for just some of that defensive switching from Sam to sort of recover the position and trying to like capitalize off of that.
Right.
But it was fairly risky, and it ended up not working out for him in this case.
I mean, he did get the trade, but it wasn't in James' favor, I don't think. Unless he does reveal Charizard Y, which wouldn't really surprise me at all here, since you would essentially lock up the weather situation in that case, make Seismitoad sort of a null slot, as we do see Charizard come to the field for the first time in the set.
Yeah, so I think one of the factors here is maybe like why we didn't see Fake Out in the first turn of Game 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He predicted the Tsarena's Queenly Majesty, which prevents pretty much, and it's like Psychic Terrain, but it only applies for your side of the field.
Yeah, and on your flying types,
yeah,
which is really nice.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to just see going right into the Mega slot here from the Charizard and see maybe a Tsareena switch in.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Sam to fight that, although I guess Seismitoad will still have the...
Yeah. But, he goes for the Tsareena instead of the Charizard, not getting that Sun Up just yet, probably expecting or hoping that Sam makes some defensive switch, but we saw earlier that wasn't really the game he wanted to play as Kangaskhan goes into its Mega form. No switches from Sam. Hydreigon, again, going to have to figure out what to do, but hopefully he can hang on from the Muddy Water this time. It has taken 2 thus far. Ooh, just barely hanging on. Very nice. But the accuracy drop, that might prove deadly here. You need every bit of damage you can get in this situation. Oh, just going. Yeah, he misread that. I didn't think that ended either. So the Tailwind, he misread those turns. So now you have Hydreigon gone. Tailwind no doubt ending right here. And Tsareena just kind of sitting there awkwardly as that did not play out as they all thought it would.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. It's a really easy mistake to make when you don't have much time each turn. Like,
right.
You can check, but usually you're just so confident in your count that you don't bother to. And so, yeah, I guess just thinking, because if he had gotten Tailwind up that turn,
that would have been fantastic.
Revolutionary.
Yes. I mean, at this point, I imagine Zapdos to be in the back, and Zapdos sounding like a pretty big problem when next to that Kangaskhan.
Yeah, we'll see. Charizard still seems pretty threatening.
Yeah, Charizard definitely has the potential to take this game. It's just you have to be so careful in getting to that place.
Yeah, and getting some chip on Kangaskhan would have been really
helpful. just anything on King. I mean, even a Dark Pulse in that situation might have meant so much in the long run. I mean, yeah, it seems that James is sort of taking his time, probably a bit shaken and annoyed that had happened. But, you know, coming back from that is what really marks a strong competitor. As we see Charizard recognizing that its trainer needs some help here, bringing the sunlight, removing that rainy day, just, you know, trying to create the light and the hope that James might need. Tsareena protecting. He knows that he needs that slot. As Charizard going for the 1-on-3 is pretty hard. Seismitoad faster than the Kangaskhan, but it still has a swift swim from the thing. Speed is determined at the beginning of the turn. Charizard not taking too much, but the accuracy drop might hurt in trying to deal with a Pokemon in the back. Is Kang faster as well, going right for the Charizard, not caring too much about the Tsareena, knocking out the easy KO. I can't see Tsareena doing the 1v3 here.
Yeah, so Sam managing to play that really tough rain situation very well and just sort of keeping Seismitoad in and going for the Muddy Water, saying, I know these are resisted, but there are ways that this can still do a lot of damage to you, and I'm also getting accuracy drops every now and then.
Right. I think one of the big issues for James there, and we did see it earlier throughout the tournament, is going for maybe overexerting reads. Reads that would have been very good if they had worked out, but not safe enough where it some reads are very safe to go for, and arguably, at that point, are they even reads? And these reads were so risky that it's, I mean, you saw what happened. You saw that he expected a switch, and he lost Landorus for it for free. Landorus would have been pretty helpful in dealing with Kangaskhan, because now, not only is Kangaskhan weak and you have that Sun Up, but Charizard just has so much more support. Zapdos is less scary, Kangaskhan is less scary. And so you lost that for free, and then it happened again with the Tailwind. Like, he was probably, I imagine, shaken a bit from losing Landorus like that.
Yeah, and I think that's tough because that's often what you have to go for in a regional.
Yeah.
Is those, like, tough reads. And so it's easy to say, like, oh, that didn't work out. But, like, maybe that was the way to win that game in guarding against switches. It was definitely, like, pretty aggressive. And it didn't work, but it definitely could have.
Yeah, it absolutely could have. And that's part of what it means. Like, Pokemon is not purely a math game. The human element plays a big role, and being able to figure out what your opponent does is a large part in getting to that victory in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think Sam definitely showing us, like, the advantages of his sort of pretty offensive style.
Yeah.
The Pelipper and the Seismitoad, even with resisted hits, were
it ended up working pretty well.
And the Kang and the Zapdos just gave just enough support for the rain to sort of pull things through.
I mean, congratulations to Sam, 4-0 here, especially in a tournament where even being X1 is almost a dangerous position. Every win is important, and at the same time, I hope that James doesn't feel out of spirits from a loss like that, because I'm sure looking back, if you watch that later, you're going to be like, oh, like, I shouldn't have done that. I think reads, one of the reasons people don't go for them is because they don't want to regret them. And so when you look back at those, it's very easy to feel bad about then and at the moment. So I hope that he has the will to kind of persevere there.
Yeah, I think that's one of the marks of successful regional
players. Oh, absolutely.
Is just being able to take, like, a loss where you made a mistake and then going through that and being like, well, I'm going to win out anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I respect, the emotion that some people put in the game, but there are definitely moments where having that cool head and being like, okay, it didn't work out. I just have to, like, focus on the next game and, like, not reflect on that too much for now. Definitely is sort of the balance that you need to be able to succeed at events like this.
Yeah, best of luck to both of the players.
Yeah, best of luck to both of you. Excellent game. I'm excited to see more, and we'll see you guys again soon.